Oh yeah.
Man, I was about to be mad. So anyway, we'll start over, everybody. Good evening. We had a long discussion, introductions, and all that good stuff. And dude route us over. So anyway, good evening. We're going to talk about the elections. We got absentee here and Saxman. I asked them earlier. Both of them said they were good, but y'all didn't get privilege to hear all that. But anyway, jokes on me. Jokes on me. So we have to kind of be careful. I hate to say this, everybody, but we kind of have to be a little bit careful on the topics at hand, and we have to be very, very precise in what we say. 100% precise. Anything that can be deviated or reconfigured from the truth, even if we believe it's the truth or it is the truth, we have to be careful. Okay. But we are here. We are live and rolling. But we were going to talk about the elections. So I'm looking on several different sites. I don't know which one's accurate, which one's not. One's showing 49-48, the other one's showing 48-46 as far as the Senate. It's kind of all over the place. So, absentee, I'm actually going to let you lead off on the prediction as far as the House goes.
Okay. I've been sitting here watching this since the night of the election, of course, which I swore I wouldn't do, but I did it anyways. It kind of went how I thought it would. It looks like we're going to take the House. We're not there yet, but we're very close. If you go and look at the different states where there are still votes to be counted, there's a lot. There's enough Republicans in the lead in those different House seats where it's going to put us beyond the 218 mark if they all win. And I think they will. I could be wrong, but I have a strong feeling that they will. One or two of them might not make it, but even so, we'll still have the 218. And then, of course, if that happens and we control the House, if we can keep the rhinos in check, that should stymie Sir Stumbles a lot, any plans he has going forward, because they'll have to get through the House to even make it to the Senate. So let's keep praying and hope that all kind of pans out in our favor.
Well, unfortunately, that's how we have to roll with it, on a hope and a prayer, right?
Yep.
Very, very sad. So, like he said, if we at least get one of those, we can stop the buck right there. Except, you always have to worry about the rhinos, right?
Exactly.
Always. And they're in there, and I didn't read all the details on it, but I seen Mitch McConnell's kind of catching some smoke right now, for some of his dealings with the elections. I think he opted out to kind of back more Democrats than he did Republicans. So, yeah, I don't know how that worked out, but I'll have to read more into it to be accurate. But anyway, yeah, you're right here, Billy. Either way it turns out, it still could possibly be bad. But here's the thing: if we can get that House, we can vote in for the House, right?
Yep.
That's step number one. Then old Melted Candle can go on off to be the ambassador of Italy with her 10,000 square foot wine cellar. Yeah. That was on CNN YouTube, so you can check that.
She needs a lot of room for our vodka.
So I do want to ask y'all something, and this is a fact. YouTube, it's on CNN, Washington Post, all of the above, the whole alphabet montage of bullshit news networks. So did y'all hear about the guy in PA winning the election that passed away a month ago?
I saw
Yes,
that.
I did hear that.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't say too much for Pennsylvania voters. Not just that, but Fetterman as well.
Yeah, that's a dumpster fire right there.
I mean, Oz was no catch, but
No.
to vote in a guy that doesn't understand and can't articulate English, yeah, that's
Well, in
hard.
his defense, he did have some kind of medical issue. He had a stroke or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, he stroked out. So, that's great. So you elect a guy who's recovering from a stroke, he can walk, he can breathe, and that's about it. He can put hoodies on.
Well, he looks like somebody, that you meet in a dark alley in Atlanta and they're about to roll you.
I'm telling you, man. Look up Mario Brothers, the first movie. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you watch it for about 5 minutes.
No.
Yep. You'll see what they voted in.
Man. Wow. Well, I mean, I'm not really clear on, okay, the guy that was dead that got voted in, was he actually on the ballot? I'm asking because I'm not familiar with the whole thing. Was he actually on the ballot, or did a bunch of smart ass say, hey, let's write him in and really fuck with him?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm just curious. It's a question. I'm not stating that, YouTube. I'm just asking a question. I'm trying to be enlightened here. So
Let's see. Hold on just a second. So, yeah, it was Anthony Tony DeLuca. He died from lymphoma. He was
Right.
85 years old. He died on the 9th of October, but it was too late to change the ballots. So he remained the Democratic nominee.
Okay, yeah. Now, okay, it seems like I do remember something about this back when that happened. And I do think I do remember that. They couldn't, there wasn't enough time to pull them off the ballots, which.
So, the big thing was there was no Republican challenger.
Okay.
And everything was already set. So, that's
Okay,
every politician's wet dream is basically to, be on the ballot. Somebody dies, and there's no competition.
All right. Well, here's my question to that, and Vanguard, please pipe in if I'm incorrect here. But okay, if you're in an elected position like Senate, House, whatever, and you die before you're reelected, you're going into an election. Okay, somebody's got to be filling in for him in some capacity, don't they? Or is that just an empty seat just kind of hanging out there until the election goes through? I mean, how's that going to work? Because if he has nobody, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm wondering the same thing. Does it default to the other party?
So this guy, they're going to have to hold a special election to fill that seat.
Okay.
Now I don't know if that's a state thing. If their Secretary of State or whatever. I don't know the basically who fills in, upon death. There has to be a chain of command there,
Well, I would think that it seems to me it'd fall upon the state to take care of it, since they're state representative.
Exactly, because if the feds took that over, it seems like it'd be real unconstitutional.
Exactly. Although they'd be all for that shit, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, let me fire up the old machine here and see.
Okay.
What happens if? Well, I don't even know. I don't even know how to type this in.
Well, you'd have to have a special election to put somebody in that position. And if he ran unopposed, then what crony are they going to pull from to? You see what I'm saying? It's one of those Pandora's boxes.
All right, election code chapter 145. Holy hell! What the hell did I just pull up? Well, that's about 958 pages.
You need to get the Cliff Notes version of that, brother.
Yeah.
Well, while you're looking that up, I'm gonna bring up an observation I was thinking about earlier. Okay, and this going to again tell my age. At this point, I don't care. I remember back when I believe it was when Baby Bush was running for his first term, and it was before you had all the voting machines. Well, you had them, but you didn't have them. You had the chads. You had to take a little punch and
Hanging chads.
Yep. And remember, the chads were hanging and they were bitching because they didn't come loose.
Right.
Now, okay, here's what is baffling to me. Back then, you could count. Back then, you could count all the chads or all the little punched-in cards, whatever the hell you want to call them. You could count them. Get the whole national count done inside of what? 48 hours tops. Usually 18. And you knew who the winner was. Okay.
Right.
It is baffling to me that we have all this electronic shit, from the computer where you key in what you want to when you scan that shit in to people physically counting it, and we still can't get our shit together and get stuff counted. We still got people out there reporting 70% polls counted. How in the fresh fuck is that possible?
Well, and you notice a lot of those ones that are counting, that have only gotten 70% in.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that allow mail in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
and that was also the big spike. They were like Vanguard was talking about that night, that the big spike in basically blue votes that came in.
Right.
So
yeah.
They were counting all that early voting stuff, and listening to it's one of those. The Democrats love mail-in. They love early voting. And I do too. It's fast and easy.
Yeah.
But it's more of a Democrat thing to either mail in, vote early. A lot of Republican counts came in the day of the election.
True.
Because people go out, show of force, you go out, you vote. Get your little voter sticker that's multicultural and go home.
All right. Well, that answers my question. I mean, I'm still baffled at the fact that, no, not. It answered my question.
No, you're right, though. I mean, how long does it take to sit there in a room full of, ballots? Okay. D-R-I.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just, to me, for us to be the country that we're supposed to be, and I truly do love the country we're in. Don't get me wrong, it's the best place in the world, good, bad, or different. But to see us be this dysfunctional, it's embarrassing.
Oh, yeah. It is an embarrassment.
It's just embarrassing. I mean, I'll bet you that when they do elections in, hell, let's go way out there. Let's say when they do elections in Italy or UK, hell, maybe even Russia. I don't know. Never been there. But I'll bet you damn money they don't take them a week to figure out who won.
No.
So I got a little information on that. So, and you mentioned it earlier. So that seat will remain vacant until a special election occurs.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I don't know if any of y'all's ever drag raced or whatever the hell, but when a car brakes before rolling up to the starting line, that's an automatic win for the other racer. Just say it.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that situation. I've seen that a few times.
Yeah, so I don't know.
that's like going to a baseball game and basically defaulting. You know? The team forfeits, so you win. But that'd be too much like right. So. So what's everybody's thoughts on the whole runoff again in Georgia? You know, I kind of called this from the very beginning anyways. I figured this was going to happen. It just means we're going to be having to endure more political calls again.
Here's the thing, though, and I may be wrong, but I don't think you can do early voting or mail-in ballots on runoffs, right?
I don't think you'll be able to because, see, the governor of Georgia, he did, well, I don't know if it's him or Rat-Face Burger, but they changed the runoff rules. Remember, it used to be like 8 or 9 weeks or 12 weeks, some ungodly amount of time for runoff. It's now 4. So they don't have time to entrench themselves and come up with all these different schemes and everything else. You got to do it, and you got to get it done. So it's not. And when I say that, I'm not talking about anything underhanded. I'm just talking about strategy. You've got. There's not that much time. You've got to get out there and start getting ready to do the early voting for that all over again. There's not a lot of time to campaign or anything. I mean, and that's great.
Yeah, you're right. You'll have to, and then you also have the voter apathy. People are just tired of it. So basically, you're fighting the people that really want you in. Because you can't run on the governor's coattails now.
Nope. Nope. That's what I'm saying. It's they're only being 4 weeks. It's going to be boots on the ground. I mean, you'll be running with TV ads and stuff, but that's not a lot of time. And I think Vanguard's correct. I don't think you can do mail in for a runoff like this, not in this short of a period of time, because there's not time to get the stuff and do it.
Yeah, no.
Plus, historically, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, historically on runoffs, you have much lower voter turnout.
Oh yeah, it's going to be way lower.
Because I think Kubota, because so many people turned out for Kubota, I think that's what helped Warnock.
Oh yeah.
But now that Kubota's not running.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm hoping that's a lot of you get that voter apathy that just I don't care. I already went. I'm done. But I'm hoping it's from the Dems.
Yep. So we'll see what happens. See what happens today. I mean, neither one of them is perfect, but I would take Walker over Warnock in a hot minute.
Oh yeah.
I just, my personal opinion, I think Warnock's a race baiting, opportunist.
Oh, he's a Sharpton. He's just better dressed.
Yeah. Yep.
So this comment here, and I'm gonna speculate a little bit. So DeSantis was supposed to be in Georgia today to rally for Walker. So I'm gonna get y'all's thoughts on this. You think he's laying the groundwork?
God, I hope so.
I think he is. I think because Trump made his comment and kind of snubbed DeSantis in one of his Make America Great rallies or whatever. And I think there's a strong possibility that DeSantis is actually thinking about throwing his hat in the ring. And I think that pissed Trump off because that kind of screws the pooch for him because let's face it, when Trump was in office, good, bad, or indifferent, our way of life was better. Okay. Don't gotta be a fan of him. That's fine. That's your prerogative. But it was a better place. But the problem with Trump is he doesn't have a filter, and I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but you gotta use tact. He had none. I'm sorry, being honest. I voted for the man, but he has zero tact. That's a New Yorker in him. But he's damaged goods, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, if he was the Republican ticket and that's who was running, I'd vote for him. But he's not the best option.
Agreed. No, I think you're 100% right. And, DeSantis has people are looking at him now, from the time he's been in office until now. The rest of the country is like, oh, okay, who's this guy? And he's actually not backing down from Trump. And like you said, I think we needed Trump. We needed him at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I don't like politicians in general, sometimes you got to be a politician.
Right.
Like you said, you have to have some decorum. But I think DeSantis, he doesn't take shit from people. Go to any of his interviews, with the media, and they'll say something, and he'll say, no, hold on just a second, you're wrong, and here's why you're wrong. And I love that about the guy.
I like the fact that he doesn't take shit off people and he backs up his opinion with facts. It's not my way or the highway.
Yeah.
If you come to DeSantis trying to throw shade, he's going to throw it right back on you, and he's going to back it up with facts. And that's what I like about it. I'm sitting there looking at James. James doesn't believe he'll run in 2024. He might not, but I get the feeling that if he's not already decided, he's on the fence about doing it, because there's got to be something that caused him and Trump to have some kind of falling out. Because Trump didn't just do that to do it. There was a reason for it. My guess is that, maybe Trump wanted support, or Trump wanted to run as VP or something like that. And DeSantis said, not going to happen. I'm not going to be your lackey. Not going to happen. I think I can do a better job. I mean, that's just how I see DeSantis responding to that.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I think DeSantis could win against pretty much anybody you stuck him up against, as long as they didn't pair him up with, some just weirdo, or something that's so basically don't pander,
Right.
You don't stick a Kamala with him, or somebody that is just as fiery as he is, and boom, you got it.
I think DeSantis would be, what's the word I'm looking for? He would have that whole stately swagger to him. You know what I'm saying? He could set precedent and things in a stately manner instead of throwing a tantrum.
Right, yeah.
Or talking shit. And again, I'm not throwing shade on Trump necessarily, but I'm just saying there's different ways to go about this. And, I think Trump had his run. He would have been great in a second term. Not saying he wouldn't have, but that's behind us. We can't look at that. We've got to look forward. He's not the right choice going into this. And that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, and like you say, if all DeSantis did was go up there and run on exactly what he won Florida with, which was family, anti-woke policies, not grooming kids.
Right.
Basically, the guy actually ran on conservatism, and you'll see all of these, Republicans right now that either lost or they're in a super, hot tie right now. They ran as Republicans. They didn't run as conservatives. And
Right.
I think had a lot more of these folks actually ran as conservatives. And so, hey, we're as tired of this crap as you are, people.
Right.
Instead of, okay, we got a Democrat that is going to continue what they've been doing, and we've got a Republican over here who's just a whiny, wishy-washy dude.
Yep.
Yeah. So why change?
True. I'm sitting there looking at James and Ozzy in the chat, and they also bring up another good point that Trump is very good at playing the media. I mean, he gets some kind of pleasure out of it, and that's fine. But it could very well be that this is a ploy to either get DeSantis to throw his hat in the ring, or it's to get the media all in a big fervor, like something's happening, when truly there's nothing going on. It's just making them chase their tails. So, valid point. Anything's possible this early in this, They've got to announce they're running for the presidency. When is that? Is that in is that the summer coming up? Or
No,
I know there's a window.
I think they can announce it after this midterm, I believe.
Okay. All right. I was just curious.
I think that rule's in place because they don't want the presidential election to have influence on the midterms. You see what I'm saying?
Right. I got you.
But I'm on.
Well, it'd be interesting to see. I'm curious. I mean, like I said, if Trump is the nominee, I'll vote for him. Good, bad, or different, because he's better than what we have. If DeSantis is, I'll vote for him. If I have to pick between the two of them, unless something changes, I'm going to vote for DeSantis. So if I have to pick a nominee, it's not going to be Trump. And you can hate me or love me. I mean, because here's my other thing, Vanguard, and I'm sure you'll probably agree. Yes, Trump got some things done, but he also dropped the ball on a lot of things he could have got done. I know this is me playing armchair quarterback. I'm cool with that. But going in there and just creating all this drama, all he did was have his own people. Well, I mean, they were already planning to do it because he wasn't playing the ball, but they were playing ball with him anyways. But he had his own party fuck him, and then he had DNC do it. So he couldn't get, there's only so much he was able to do because he kept so much drama and controversy going. As soon as they got one investigation done, they started another one on it. And we don't need to spend another 4 years with that kind of nonsense because we can't get nothing accomplished as a country and improve things because we're too busy with all this internal bullshit in D.C.
Yeah.
That's not helping the people that they're there to represent. And, I don't want to hear about another damn committee or Russiagate or any other bullshit. I want the country fucking fixed. Period. All that shit's in the past. We need to be looking forward. We got a lot of shit on the table. We've got the shortage of diesel. We've got the soaring gas prices. I don't know if y'all noticed, but gas prices are going back up.
Yeah.
Isn't that ironic?
Day after, yep.
And I know Palmetto is kind of an oxymoron, but that's how it used to be. The basic cost to exist and thrive in this country has become almost unobtainable for some folks. And that's not what this country was built on or the premise it was set on. And I don't want that for my kids and grandkids. I know none of you do. And all this bullshit of worrying about is nonsense. Excuse me. That shit needs to get tabled. We need to deal with the problem at hand and fix this damn country. Make it where it's what it used to be. Because that, this is bullshit.
Well, the thing is, though, we've got a very narrow window to do that.
You're absolutely right. I completely agree. I mean, it's to the point now where we're kind of like that buffalo on the edge of the cliff. And we either going to fall off or we're going to have to reverse course. I mean, it's one or the other. It's not going to be we can stand there for a while and figure out what we're going to do. We're going to have to make a decision. Because if we don't, we're going to go off that cliff and there's not going to be fixing things because it's going to be too far gone. And repairing this country is going to be unobtainable because it's going to be so far gone in the level of, well, you can fill in the blanks. But it will no longer be the republic we all grew up in. So that's my concern. I don't want to leave that for my kids and grandkids.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I got the same beliefs as you. I want to set everything up for my family, moving forward. But most people don't think like that anymore.
No,
that way of thinking's gone. It's a me situation now. It's just all about me, right?
That exactly. I had, I give you a classic example. You bring that up. I don't know what happened to my two kids. I got one that's a straight up liberal. Drives me nuts. Love her to death, but she's a liberal. But even now, she may not. Now she didn't vote, so that's on her. But even she now sees the things I've been bitching and raising hell about for the past 2 years. Now she's feeling it, like when she has to go buy supplies for her job or she's had to go get groceries or this, that, and other. She's seeing what I've been warning her about. She's experienced it. When she's got to put gas in that car and ride all over the place, she's feeling that. So she began to realize, hey, Dad made some points. I should listen. So I don't know. None of us thought we would see this, and here we are. And you're right. People are worried about the wrong shit. They're worried about, and if there's any women in here I'm about to upset or piss off, I'm going to apologize up front, okay? But it seems to me with this past election, people are more concerned about being able to go get an abortion on demand and white guilt and getting college loans paid for than they are ensuring that this republic endures another 50 years. Apparently, they don't give a fuck about how much they're going to pay for fuel, groceries, a car. The fact that their parents' retirement's getting eaten the fuck up by the stock market. None of that matters to them, see. Because half of them are probably still living at the fucking house to begin with, mooching off their parents in the basement. And the other half are expecting handouts. I mean, it's the generation, Vanguard. It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. When I was raised up, that's not how you thought.
And I may be out of line or off base with what I'm about to say, but I had a conversation with an actual friend of mine today, which I don't have many of, but we had a conversation about inflation, things that cause it and just so forth. And I tried to explain to him, and after a long conversation, he understood. He's like, the cost of living's going up. They need to raise the wages and stuff like that. I said, no, that's the damn problem now. shit
Mhm.
costs so much to make, you're not winning. Okay.
Yep.
What you used to go to, and I remember when my kid, this is really going to tell our age here. So I remember when you go get a Happy Meal for a little over $1.
Mhm.
Okay. Me, the wife, the kids could go to McDonald's, $14. All of us has got a meal. Now, 4 of us goes to McDonald's and get something to eat. It's 40 something bucks, close to 50. And that's not supersizing or anything. That's just regular shit.
Yep.
And why is that? Well, it's because some person that works, and I'm not taking anything away from people working that food line, but the educational level, they have a lot of them have no degrees, no anything, no exterminating education that would progress them into something else, right? But they're working there making more money than some people that have degrees in certain fields, and it just doesn't work.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
And this pisses me off to no end because even in this town, you can go to a McDowell's or wherever, and they'll advertise $15 an hour. Okay, you have people working in hospitals. Okay, that are CNAs, stuff like that, different aides, that are making less than a person that can't get your fucking order right at a McDonald's.
Well, there's in our area, I can give you the reason why they can't get your order right at McDonald's. A, they can't keep their pants up.
Right.
B, they can't speak English. And C, they're on their cell phone.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like you're rolling up in a Chick-fil-A, brother.
Oh, I know.
And even our Chick-fil-A is questionable.
Hey, Ozzy, that link is sent to you, buddy.
So, but the thing that amazes me, and people are so ignorant, I love to hear the comment, people need a living wage. Okay, let me break it down to you for you fucktards that failed economics. All right. Food service jobs are entry-level positions meant for people first going into the fucking workforce. But because of the fact that our economy's in the shitter right now, we have other folks in those positions. Okay? The people who have decided to make a fucking career of asking, would you like to supersize your shit, have got issues. And they're expecting to support a family of baby kids on the fucking money they're making at damn McDonald's. Get a fucking skill and a career and get a real fucking job. Because what's going to happen, you bitching and moaning about wanting $15 or $20 an hour of living wage, your ass is going to get replaced by a fucking kiosk.
Evening, everybody.
Dumb shit.
What's up, Ozzy? So, sticking to the topic a little bit. So, think about this a minute. So, you've got all these other bullshit jobs that really doesn't progress the nation whatsoever. I don't know how many text messages y'all got about this damn election, but quite frankly, my nerves are a little bit rattled. At first, it was fun. I'd send some stupid ass replies, but then it got annoying getting about 15, 20 of them a day. So why not contribute to society in a positive manner? Work for what you got, right? If the thing is they want more wages. Well, here's an idea. Why don't you fucking show up for work every day? Your pay will increase automatically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Stop going out and spending money on stupid shit. I mean, I don't get it. The ones that are working, they're going out contributing to society, putting in their daily work schedule. I work a shitload of hours. You know that, T. A lot.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
okay?
sir.
But the thing is the tax contributing factor. I'm paying for somebody else that is sitting on their ass complaining about the cost of living. Here's an idea. maybe you get up and go to work and contribute and earn your own pay. Then the cost of living won't be so high. We won't all have to pay in all this bullshit, right? And then we won't have to pay all this unemployment insurance, just crazy shit.
Well, just think how much we would save if we stopped sending shit to other countries.
Well,
There you go.
There you go.
Fucking deficit right there.
That hate
right
us.
that right there would fix our infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
Sending money to countries that hate us in the first place.
Yeah.
If you were to get a refund for all the money we sent to Ukraine for this proxy war, we could have fixed our entire infrastructure and probably done something for all the vets that are homeless.
Yeah.
We started doing something. I mean, there's
Every time I think of that, I think of Pakistan gender studies.
Yeah, no shit. For real. I didn't even know Pakistanis were allowed gender studies.
I don't think they are.
Well, in Pakistan, they only got
I-
2.
I hear that's a quick date with a scimitar.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I was going to say about the whole minimum wage thing is that, and I said this 10, 12 years ago when they first started crying about the minimum wage, the only thing that raising the minimum wage is going to do is give the government more money because it's based on a percentage. It's going to raise the prices of everything else, and it's going to actually put people in a worse spot than they were in. And the only one that's going to turn out is the government because they're going to get more tax money because it's that percentage added to it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's set up the same way as your local municipality that over fucking develops 20 acres down a highway. They don't give a shit about this land impact or anything else because half the damn commissioners have bought the land and they're selling it back to the county or the developer because they knew the development was coming. So they overdevelop the area to get more tax revenue, which in fact gives them the ability to waste more money. I mean, it's a vicious cycle, and it's from the local municipalities all the way up to the federal government.
Yeah. What I mean is, if you're making $10 an hour and you're taxed at 20%, and then you're making $15 an hour and you're taxed at 20%, but now everything costs twice as much.
Well, it's one of the things you could do, and this may not be popular, and somebody here may be able to school me and correct me on my way of thinking, but sometimes a flat tax wouldn't be a bad idea.
I agree with a flat tax.
State, have a consumption tax. So if you go to the grocery store, and I'm just using this fictitiously, I'm not saying it'd be this amount, but it's the same amount for everybody. Let's say you pay 15 cents on the dollar for everything you buy. Okay? That eliminates anybody who's here illegally or whatever, because guess what? They're paying the same fucking tax you are, one and done. Because they consume just as much shit as you do, whether it's at McDonald's, run up the liquor store to get a case of Dos Equis, or they're at whatever. I'm just saying. So,
well, I mean, that's just not the illegals either. That's your drug dealers. You know, everybody. Anybody that buys anything pays an equal tax. So those who spend the most pay the most taxes.
I could even see a flat income tax, but it's flat across the board. There's no more deductions, no more we're going to tax breaks, nothing. Everybody pays the same percentage. It doesn't matter if you have 15 kids. It doesn't matter if you want to build a new business.
well, I'm going to be the asshole now. The government will never allow that to happen because of one reason. And that is it takes away one of their most powerful tools for pandering for votes.
Yeah.
Because if they don't have taxes, they can't pander.
Yeah.
And we all know politicians love to pander as much as they love to spend time with the pages behind closed doors. So, just saying.
Yeah, but I get what I was just saying. You know, if we flat tax everything, everybody is an equal contributor by the money that they spend, right?
Yeah.
So if we're at 8% tax right now. All right, let's say we go to 15. So you'll be getting 15% of my payroll technically. flat across the board.
Correct. But here,
What I spend goes into taxes. That's plenty of money for the government to do what they need to do. Also, the other thing is, now I can lay down all this shit for you. So if you are on any assisted living, I don't give a damn what kind it is, you don't get a fucking tax return. What did you do?
nope. I'm there with you, brother.
Why would you allow somebody to become a baby maker or a fucking leech to society in order to gain benefits?
Votes.
Well, here's the problem with that rationale, and don't get me wrong, I love it. But the way the dynamic is set up on the tax, the top 1% pays the majority of the tax in this country.
Yep.
Okay. If you were to change it where everybody paid the same percentage, the government actually would make less money. I think. Now, I haven't had time to do all that math. This is me saying off the cuff.
Well, here's my other thought to it, just to add to it, is I feel that sales tax that's collected should have to be spent in that county.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not we're going to collect the sales tax and send it to the shithole, Minneapolis or
No.
Atlanta or any of that shit.
Well, this goes back, and this is kind of hinged on the same thing. Okay, here's another classic example. They used to always bitch about the war on drugs and all this other stuff. So if you've got a local municipality and they go in and they do a drug bust or they confiscate a bunch of shit, they shouldn't have to give any of that revenue. Like, let's say you go bust a drug dealer and he's got $2 million. The federal government shouldn't get a fucking dime. That money should go to that municipality to re-outfit those officers, that police department, that county, and take care of that county, whether it's helping take care of the parks, etc. It stays in that municipality. They did the job.
Yep.
And that's how, to me, it would cut the feds out, because the feds have always got their hand in everything, like it's theirs.
Well, the feds need to get cut anyways.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying
they're just nothing but brown shirts now.
Exactly. But I'm saying if you did that, the municipalities would be more self-sustaining, and it would make the police get out there and be more. And I'm not throwing shade at law enforcement. It's not what this is. But let's face it, they've got the short end of the stick. They've been getting the short end of the stick for years. Now, there's some bad police out there. There's bad everybody. And in every group or somebody's bad. But this would give law enforcement and municipalities more revenue to do things within that municipality for their taxpayers, instead of having to share it with every damn body else. Now, I can see maybe handing some of it off to the state because they use resources to help each municipality. That's fine, but it would be a small fraction. It wouldn't be half or all of it. And that's just, an example of what I was thinking. It kind of goes hand in hand with the whole thing about paying the flat tax or by paying the same, etc. It's another way that money can be better used instead of letting the Fed just waste it. Because if they didn't have access to all this revenue, they wouldn't be adding all these law enforcement or IRS agents or doing all these other stupid things they're doing, because they wouldn't have the funds to fucking waste.
And that's what you bring up the extra agents. I'm wondering now if there's going to be a push to actually defund that, or if it can be defunded. That way, you can. It's allocated in the bill, but you can't hire them.
Well, I think what we could do. It sounds like we got the House now, right? So we could refuse to sign any bill if we're not without cutting their funding.
Right. But see, you got to have people with balls to do that, Ozzy.
Well, that's true too, but I'm just saying how they can do it. I'm not saying that they would.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love for them to do it. I mean, that's let's hold them by the short hairs.
Yep. We can cut their funding by half.
Yeah. Say,
the IRS by 70%. They can get rid of all the new guys they just hired.
Yep. because to me, you've got so many bloated bureaucracies in DC, from the IRS to the FBI, probably Treasury. I mean, DOJ,
Homeland Security.
Homeland Security. Oh, Homeland Security. You really need to clean house up in them motherfuckers. I mean, the DEA. Well, I'm not gonna say DEA. I will say the Department of Agriculture. There's some other ones. DHHS.
We could always beef up ICE and let them do their job.
Yeah, the government agencies that should be getting revenue are the agencies that are trying to keep us safe. ICE. I don't know if Border Patrol falls under ICE or not. There's different agencies out there. All this other bullshit, anything that has to do with basically just bureaucracy and putting everybody under the thumb, that shit needs to stop. Stop giving them money. EPA, very good point. EPA is another wasted damn agency. You know.
And Hillbilly said that he'd just use executive orders. I don't think he could. I don't think he could create more funding through executive orders.
No, in fact, I think that whole thing is exactly that. Why that? Biden's student debt relief thing got struck down. Was it today or yesterday?
Right.
Was basically, it was saying, yeah, Congress can't just do that. You can't just say, here's a blank check for $20,000 and
Yeah.
that gets wiped off. Yeah, no.
James, I'm gonna say keep the U.S. Marshals because they can be utilized in a lot of ways for the people to clear house with corrupt politicians. I like the Marshals.
Yeah, the Marshals are all right.
They're a unique law enforcement branch.
But yeah, just imagine how much. I mean, the money is fake anyway. Okay, the monopoly stuff that they're printing out, you know, to bolster up the proxy war that's going on right now. But just think about the fact how much money, real money, we could save by doing exactly what y'all were talking about earlier. Stop giving money to countries that hate us.
Mm-hmm.
Stop giving money to countries that want to, you know, that would just as soon come in and wreak havoc on us. It's, you know, I'm not saying be totally isolationist, but, you know, there's a lot of countries out there that can do a lot for their folks because they're not policing the world. And,
right.
You know, as Americans, yeah, we kind of want to, I think, the good ones anyway, we don't want to see injustice going on throughout the world. We hate that sort of thing. But you got to clean house. We have to clean house here first. You know,
Sure.
we've got 20 fucking years worth of veterans that need to be helped out before, you know, Ooga Booga over there in Whateveristan gets his fucking iPhone, you know? Sorry.
Don't forget about the surface-to-air missiles we're going to send.
Yeah. You know what? I want a surface-to-air missile.
For real. I mean, why can't we get that shit?
Exactly. I want a technical. I want a Toyota, but yeah, Chris can't get.
Well, the other thing is bring manufacturing back to the U.S. instead of sending it out everywhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah, I said this a while back. You know, I try to buy American, especially like when we get tools and things of that nature. Even groceries, if I can make sure it's made here. But it gets to be a challenge because everything is shipped out and made overseas. It might be an American brand, but it's sourced somewhere else, or the materials are sourced somewhere else. It's very hard.
So it's not even that. So, like, I work for a hog farm. I work for a hog barn. It's a sow unit with like 2,500 sow unit or 27. So a large number of our animals, what they do is they send it overseas, they pack it, and then send it back to us.
Right. Which makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. I mean, a lot of our stuff we do send to China, and they keep because for the last 5 to 8 years, China hasn't been able to produce their own pork, and that's something that we could actually hurt them with if they really wanted to get melty and shit.
Well, my whole thing is this: if you do trade with a country and the country's one of those, like let's take for instance Saudi Arabia, OPEC, and all them. Oh, we'll pump out oil, but we'll give you oil for $110 a barrel. Okay, I would look at them and I say that's fine. You know those bushels of grain sitting on that ship you're wanting to come to you? They just became $110 a bushel. Deuces. You know all those armor-plated Yukons you need for your royal family to ride around in? Those motherfuckers just became $50 million each. That's how you change that shit. They gouge you, you gouge them back.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hillbilly, I've always liked the Toyotas. My next new truck, I'd like one of the Tacomas, and they're made in the U.S.
yes, they are.
And it's one of the only trucks that you can still get in a stick.
Yeah, see, I can't drive a stick, not proficiently. I'll grind the damn gears with it.
I'd love one, but not around here.
I learned in it, and I prefer it, but it's so hard to find now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pretty much have to special order a manual transmission. I used to have a supervisor that had a Honda Accord, newer back then. It was like a 2010. He had a newer Honda Accord. It was a manual transmission.
Yeah. And what's stupid about it is manufacturers, they do make them. I read an article about a Ford Ranger with a 6-speed manual that was a diesel engine. I started trying to look for it. They don't offer it in the U.S. But it's a big thing in like Australia.
Right. Well, you'll notice that some makes vehicles, I know we're kind of off subject here, but like some vehicles are manufactured and only sold in other, take for instance a Toyota. It's not available in the U.S. market, but it's available like in the Australian market or Asian market. You see that a lot with several manufacturers. And it sucks because there's stuff over there you see, and you say, damn, I want one of those. And you can't get them because they're not offered here. And if you wanted to get one overseas and have it shipped, it's like buying two of them. Yeah. I used to always look at those Toyotas they're driving in all these different TV shows. Are they Helix? Is that what they're called? Or
yeah,
all the Arabs are riding around and blowing shit up.
Yeah.
What's it? Helix. Got a damn snorkel.
It's a Toyota Hilux.
Oh, sorry, Hilux. I was saying Helix.
It's close. It was close.
But you know what I'm talking about, and you can't get that shit here.
No, they're.
I'd love to have one of those.
Pretty indestructible.
And I think that Hilux is another one that's offered with a diesel engine.
Okay.
See, like the Ranger and that, I started reading it's like a 4 and 6 cylinder diesel engine that gets like 40, 45 miles a gallon. That'd be great, but you can't get it here.
Nope. They don't want you to.
Yeah.
Well, you got to understand too that anything that gets really good gas mileage, they're not going to want.
Those Hiluxes are kind of indestructible too.
Yes, they are. It's like riding a damn Range Rover.
Yeah, I've rode in a few of those Hiluxes. They're pretty nice. But,
I'm sure.
So, sorry, I asked to be on here because my typing sucks, and evidently, I'm going to go down a rabbit hole. Everybody should see me.
Just keep everything within
PG,
the line. Because otherwise, we'll be back in the principal's office, and we're trying to avoid that.
I don't like the principal's office either. Never been there. Don't want to be there. All right. Now I lost all of my track of thought. But where was our conversation where I tried to get in at?
Let's scroll up here. We were talking about marshals when you said break in.
Okay, yeah. So we got the FBI.
Mhm.
It's supposed to be covering law enforcement. They're the largest federal police force.
Mhm.
But they also cover intelligence. Got the CIA.
Well,
So why do we have one agency covering what two other agencies are already doing?
because the CIA technically is not supposed to operate on U.S. soil. They're supposed to be foreign
Agreed.
intelligence. FBI is supposed to be the country. They basically do in the continental United States, etc. That's the way I understood it. If I'm incorrect,
Yeah, FBI can actually work overseas as well. Your CIA is not supposed to be a police force. It's
they're supposed to be straight cloak and dagger intel gathering.
Okay. So
No, it's not.
sorry. So, but you have the U.S. Marshals, most underrated law enforcement agency we have. Them next to Border Patrol.
Correct.
You know, think
We all
about it.
have-
What do U.S. Marshals do? They do everything.
Yeah. Marshals have a unique scope of their authority. I think a marshal, they're not limited in. They can go over different. What's the word I'm looking for?
marshals have a jurisdiction that is basically the whole country.
That's what I meant. Yes, they don't. They can. They have access over multiple jurisdictions. They don't have to get. They're not like a police force where we have to go and get in. Check in with this group or that group. They're not doing that, and they do a lot of different things within their purview. But the thing I like about the U.S. Marshals, they are strictly. They stay in their lane. They don't go and get into everything else, like the FBI, or like the NSA, or like Homeland Security, DOJ. They don't do none of that shit. They stay in their lane and do what they're supposed to do. And the good thing about the marshals, if you have to go and let's say you had a corrupt FBI agent, politicians, whatever, you don't fuck with the FBI. You go get your marshals. Because the marshals have cross jurisdiction, if I'm not mistaken. So they can go in and say, yeah, we're putting cuffs on your ass and you're going to holding whether you like it or not, and whether your superior likes it or not. And that's what's going to happen. And they're, like you said, they're underrated and underappreciated, just like the Border Patrol. Border Patrol catch hell every day.
All right. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to learn this whole thing. I'm going to go out of my camera because it's lagging, evidently.
Okay.
How do I do this?
I don't know. Your audio.
I know. That's why I'm getting out of the video. Y'all can continue talking. I'm sorry.
No. I've been running my mouth. Somebody else take over. Come on, Sax, man.
Oh man. Well, so I was looking at the clock here, and that
Don't even worry about it. Anything.
All right. No. Now, as far as the flat tax, you can actually increase that. You know, you can increase the flat tax based on pay and keep it at that. You will increase the income coming to the federal government or any government that does that.
Oh, yeah, I'm all for flat tax. I'd love a flat tax.
Yeah, I'm not. I like the old idea of flat tax, but I
I
don't
hate.
know. Like I said, I'm no mathematician, but considering that the majority of the taxes that are paid come from the top 1%,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when it really balance out.
Yeah.
That's-
Well,
that's
I
the
mean,
question.
yeah, exactly. But think about, exactly what Vanguard was saying earlier, with all of the, basically the tax magic, the tax laws and stuff like
Yeah.
that you have to use in this country now because of politicians and corporate. I mean, I'm not digging on corporations either because they give jobs, but with all the tax magic that you have to do, giving out tax breaks for people that aren't even working. Flat tax you would have to get more money into the coffers.
Well,
But if you took that at a equal level, because each local government taxes you with this, state government, federal government, they all tax you. Each one of them do a flat tax, and taking it, like, I forget who it was earlier that said it, but keep the local money local.
mhm. Yeah.
One that takes the federal government out of the local business anyways.
They shouldn't be in the local business. That's where the problem is. See, the roles have been skewed. The federal government has got so much overreach now over everybody's lives that they were never meant to have to begin with, and they don't want to let go of that power because they use it. They're all power mongers, and it allows them to pander for votes and manipulate things. That's the federal government. So
And you also have politicians who are telling you we don't need to read this bill till it's passed,
exactly.
Right.
which is not how it should. It's not how it's disclosed in the Constitution. Bills are supposed to be read, agreed upon, challenged, passed up to the hell. I might have to go back and brush up on my Constitution here, but I'm pretty certain it's supposed to go to the Supreme Court to look over any constitutional conflicts before it goes anywhere else. Now, I have to go back to my 8th grade learning.
I'm gonna straight up tell you, I'm not sure. I know they're supposed to go through the different branches of federal government before it ever becomes,
Mhm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to my 8th grade learning on that one.
It would go through the House, then go through the Senate for ratification.
correct. And it
Which-
should have gone through committee before it ever got to the damn house.
Yeah, I mean, but generally that's why they have, that's why almost everybody up there is a lawyer. They go through that sort of stuff, but no, because bills get, thrown out and all the time. It's just not the ones that you like to hear about getting thrown out.
Yeah.
Well,
All right, guys.
yep, I think it's about time to wrap it up. Vanguard, are you there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. I just had it mic'd out. All the rain that's going on here.
Gotcha, because of the storm.
I mean, we need the rain, believe me.
Excuse me.
All right, yeah. So good chat tonight. We've been on over for well over an hour.
Yep,
Which is
be good.
Yeah, we got a late start, and everybody hung out with us and stayed true to us. So that's a good thing.
Yep.
Ozzy, I know you're out there. I seen you dropped out. glad to have you on here as always. Anybody's welcome, James. Thanks for coming by, buddy. It is a little easier to come in here. The only thing that you'll find is the chats behind what we say. So sometimes it seems like we're just babbling from one subject to another, but actually what happens is we're having a conversation, something gets said in the chat, then we gin sake that bitch, right?
Circle back.
Yeah, you ain't heard that one in a while, have you?
Thank God.
So, but that's what happens. So we pretty much run down one rabbit hole, come out the other side, and jump into another. And
I like my rabbit hole.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with rabbit hole. But
Stay dry in a rabbit hole.
James, I got bad news for you though.
Uh-oh.
You're the visitor. You get to lead us off with the closing comments.
Oh, now I'm in the spotlight. Damn. Stay tipsy. Keep it like everybody says. Keep your head on a swivel. Just protect your nest first. Clean up your nest, and everything else can be straight. But if your nest ain't in order, you can't help anybody else.
I'm trying to figure out who the Big J is.
I
Not
know
me.
who it is.
You know who it is?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, hit me stop on that.
Straight up patriot.
That's who?
Back
right.
to you.
Saxman, your turn.
All right. Yeah. So, like I said, whatever the outcome is in the next week, we just keep the faith, guys. All we can do is keep on plugging along. Plug along until we can't plug along anymore, till they make it where we can't.
Yep.
That's it.
Sometimes it gets worse before it gets better.
Yep.
All right, T.
Kind of looking at what Jack and Jim just said about beans, bullets, and band-aids, very true. What I'll point out is, like everybody's saying, watch the upcoming elections are going on and whatnot. Let's see how this all shakes out for the House and et cetera. But don't stay focused on all the negative shit. Find a balance. We're coming into the holidays. It's supposed to be a good time for you and your family and your loved ones, your friends. Don't let all this negativity suck you down. Enjoy the time you got with people, because you only get one opportunity and you don't want to waste it. I guarantee you, whatever problem we're dealing with right now, you're thinking about, it'll be there tomorrow. So it's okay to back away and enjoy some time. Take your mind off things. Find that release somewhere. Pay attention to what's going on around you. I'm not saying stick your head in the sand. I'm saying, but find that balance. Pay attention to what's going around you too. It's good to be aware. And that's all I got.
Hey, one quick thing.
Yeah, come on.
Tomorrow's Veterans Day, so it's like you said, we got the holidays coming up, and tomorrow's starting that off. So look out for your veterans out there. Some of them ain't going to be taking it too easy.
It's true. Very true.
Absolutely.
That's actually a good point. If you've got a veteran in your phone and your contacts, call them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you know them. Accidentally call them. Butt dial them. It doesn't matter. Even if you don't know them that well. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They might need it. I mean, that's a rough day for a lot of people. So
Yeah,
give them a call.
absolutely.
It always helps. But anyway, thank y'all for coming on. Our subscribers has went up another one, so we're still moving. We'll get everything sorted out where we stay out of the principal's office. I fight that battle on the backside every week. We do what we do. All right. Tonight was pretty clean. I liked it. We had a lot of information getting thrown out. Pay attention to the elections. Like T said, spend time with your family. That's what's important. That's why we do this, right? We get on here, we try to spread knowledge so people are aware of what they need to do to protect themselves and their families. But once again, I appreciate it. Y'all take care. Thank y'all for coming by. We'll see y'all again Tuesday. Peace out, everybody.
Night, y'all.
Night, everyone.
Right.
There we go.